very humbled to be in such an audience of 350 people. It's one of the largest gatherings here. We even have them in the overflow. We provided name tags for the primary reason that we also want this to be a fun event. And if you recognize a name that I'll call, I'm not going to call everyone's name because we would be here and wouldn't raise the funds for charity. But what I will do is just highlight a couple people at the tables and just remember the name, you'll know who they are. And the odd tables are on my right, your left, and the even are on the other side. And we have 4 in the back, which are basically mixed tables. The way we assigned the tables was basically people bought a table, and then we did our best. So I hope we did reasonably well. I apologize for the long lines outside, but again, it's an overflow audience. And that's good news from one respect, which we're all seated now. So I'd like to introduce, first of all, Table 1. Over here we have Father Shemmick, who is being honored. And at that table we also have the Massey, Susan and Hank, and the Kilties, Richard and Robin, and the Silvas, Eugene and Joanne, and my friend Laura Fennell. Table 3 to my right, I want to recognize Father John Hart. This is his table. And Father John is Monsignor is the pastor at our Assumption Church and does a great job and is quite a leader. In fact, I think he would have been better prepared to go ahead and organize this event because he knows all 3 people that are being honored and he supports all the 3 charities. And I'm very honored to have him here. And later you'll see him do the invocation. Thank you, Father. At Table 5, we have the Neckos and Ruth and Tony and their group, and I guess Father Brendan Werner has joined us also. Thank you. Table 7 with a couple of red jackets. We have Tom Connolly, and I'd like to recognize Stan Kaziski, basically the commander of the 112th Army National Guard Association. Table number 9, I'm delighted to see Jim Monge led here with their family. They're by the middle back here. Table 11, Mark Echo and Allison Echo, they do a lot of community work. Mark is a fashion designer and also an entrepreneur. We also have the Meeks there, and the Walkers, Carol Corbin and Paul, who I saw. Number 13, we have a lot of deacons here, so I won't single all of them out, but I'll just mention we have Brian Byrell and also Andrea, and they were the winners of the Caritas Award this past year. Very revered award. Table 15 is another military table, and I'm honored to basically have retired Captain George Johns, a Marine, and also basically a recipient of 4 Silver Stars for being a World War II and Korean War ace. At the table with George is also Ed Moran, a good friend. His friend Pete Haas isn't here, but 2 of them collectively raised $72 million for the Marine Law Enforcement Foundation. Very good organization. I believe Don Crescitello was to be at that table, and also Senator Tony Bucco and New Jersey Senator Tony Bucco. Table 17, Linda right now, and Hope Zenker, and some others from Assumption. Table 19 is a Carmel table with Steve Sass. Steve Sass will be accepting the award for Father Edmund Pius, who basically was unable to get back from the country that he was in. So he's going to accept the award for the Carmel and Mother in their mission. Table 21, almost all the table, it's the Martinez family. There's 8 of them. So John, we thank you for being here. Table 23, Mary Jo Chokiak, Assumption Church and her group. Table 27, we have another group from the Carmel, including Hazel Luan, who is on our board of directors, Mary Queen of all Nations. Now I'm going to shift to my left to be even-handed here. Table number 2, the first table here is Earl Aretha Franklin, who is the founder of Mary Queen of all Nations 33 years ago. She, along with the board, received the Caritas Award from the Diocese of Madison 3 years ago. But it's all due to Merlin, his inspiration. Thank you. To table 4, Sister Joseph Spring. Let's have a round of applause. And we'll see Sister in a little bit when we bring in the award for her. Table number 6, Gillian Vince-cruz, and she's doing the photography, is also on our board.
On behalf of all the men and women who make Assumption College for Sisters possible, they make mission impossible, mission possible. And I'm joined here by members of the administration, the faculty, the staff, representatives of the students, our provincial leadership, our trustees, our volunteers, and our friends from St. Joseph's School in Mendon. So they're the people that make this possible. I'd like to just tell you briefly about our college. We were born from the heart of our founders, Pauline von Mallinckrodt. She founded the Congregation of the Sisters of Christian Charity in 1849 in Paderborn, Germany. After 4 years, she saw the need for wedding the spiritual formation of the sisters along with their professional preparation. And she started a teacher training school long before it was a popular movement. Let's fast forward now to 1953, Mendon, New Jersey. The Sisters of Christian Charity, in conjunction with Seton Hall University, established Assumption Junior College. It was mainly organized to service the educational needs of the incoming women to the Sisters of Christian Charity. In 1961, the college became known as Assumption College for Sisters, separately incorporated in the state of New Jersey, and authorized to give a 2-year degree to the participants. Since then, the college has evolved into a college for sisters of neighboring religious congregations, for sisters from developing nations, and also for members of the laity. This year, our total enrollment is 52. We're still the smallest college in the state of New Jersey, but we are unique. In 2015, Assumption College for Sisters moved to the former convent on the Morris Catholic High School campus, where we now house 20 resident international sisters from Burundi, Mozambique, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Vietnam, along with 2 Sisters of Christian Charity, myself and Sister Marie Cecilia. We now fully sponsor these international sisters. We're proud to say that, as Jim mentioned, these sisters go on to get a 4-year degree at a college, and then they go back to their country of origin to do wonderful work as teachers, social workers, nurses, pastoral associates. These sister graduates create a ripple effect in which they touch the lives of thousands of others. We like to say at Assumption College for Sisters that we teach a sister and touch the world. So in conclusion, I would like to entrust our mission to your prayers, that what God has begun in us will continue to prosper. Thank you for this invitation, and once again, congratulations to Mary Queen of all Nations Missionary Alliance. Thank you.
If Father Shemek wasn't here, there could be a better man to accept it. Father John, or Monsignor John, has basically been a mentor and a leader to Father Shemek, and they love each other just like brothers. And he's just a wonderful, wonderful pastor. And he has a heart of gold and also represents a lot of poor people. He does a lot of Assumption, and Father Shemek would be honored to have him accept this. For the Carmelites and Father Edmund Pius Hammond. And this reads, Advocate for Healing through the Carmelite Sisters from Mary Queen of all Nations Missionary Alliance.
I accept this award. Father Pius is in the island of Malta. visiting with his mother and serving the poor, and we have a community over there. Father Pius, when he was 16 years old, was called to be a priest. Went into the seminary, and he's about 68 now, 69. Headed up the monastery in the island of Guam for many years, and is now in Malta visiting with his mother.
Thank you. Mission Parish is a blessed place, and I just want to say this. It was not too long ago that Monsignor Martin Rauscher, our retired pastor, and a couple of staff members and I were talking, and we all agreed about how blessed we all are and were and are to be associated with Assumption Parish. Assumption Parish has a long history of being very generous and wonderful people, and a great devotion to Catholic charities, especially under Father Martin. So please keep Father Martin in your prayers. He's retired, he's at Sunrise, and you get a chance to send him a card, if you will. What a joy to be able to be here and to be able to pray with you. Sister Joseph Spring, I've known for a long time. She worked in the school office, and a long time ago in a galaxy far away, she lived at St. Cecilia's Convent, where I was the pastor, and I would see her at the 6:30 Mass, and she would always be ready to go to get into the office very, very early. So she's still like that, I'm sure. She's always, right, sister? What a joy to see the Sisters of Christian Charity here. Better round of applause for that. Father Shemek Novak, I've been blessed to know and work with. We all love him. He is a very special priest. I've known many priests over my 37 years as a priest. He's one of the finest young priests I've ever met. I firmly believe that one day Pope John Paul II, St. John Paul II, will be known by the appellation John Paul the Great. I don't think it's going to be long before we start thinking about Father Shemek the Great as well. Father Pius, I don't know, but I'm sure he's a very nice man and worthy of the honor he's receiving and very devout. That was a joke.
Here's an example of our rice distribution for some needy Filipinos. As you can see on the right and left sides of me, down below here, our missionary representatives here are helping to distribute rice to the needy people. Doing the same thing here in Africa, in Cameroon. One of our board members, Susie, made a connection here with these people, and we're also distributing rice to the needy in Africa. Here's an example of our Feeding of the Children feeding program. We have some adult volunteers, and you can see our little logo, Mary Queen of All Nations, being displayed there, so the children are getting fed. The one in the middle here, I looked at that one and said, this one looks pretty needy. I thought she would be a good example of the needy people that we try to serve. And when I saw these pictures, by the way, we're getting these pictures from our missionary helpers overseas, just so we have an idea of who we're serving and where our donations are being used. So I was a little bit appalled seeing these types of living conditions overseas. I believe this is in the Philippines. Another category, we sponsor capital projects. On the left, there's a sort of a church hut, and with our help, we were able to, we didn't build a building, but I believe we put the roof on this particular church. Another example of that is, this one is in India, a church in India, and you can see Mary Queen of All Nations Church. They named the church after our charity. And some other projects, we provide self-sufficiency funds. Here's an example on the left, sewing machines, so that people can make their own clothes. And then this, on the right, lower right, there's a PA system that we provide for, so that this church in Rwanda could have I think one of them actually was supposed to be broadcast out into the field so that the farmers who couldn't get to the church could at least listen to the service. And this one, in 2014, I gave a little presentation on this church that I've been active with in Uganda, St. Mary's. And in the upper left, you can see the initial conditions where the people would actually have their service or mass out under these tattered tarps. And you can see there's a hole in there. And Father Kabedi, who I've been dealing with directly, would say, when it rains, people get wet, and this is the best they could do at the time. With our help, and as a result of our fundraiser 3 years ago, we were able to supply them with some roofing material, and you can see the finished church, and now they can have their services indoors and out of the rain. So typical of things that we try to help out with the limited funds that we work with. And from here, I had originally planned to do about 5 minutes. I cut it down to about 3 so that I can give time for my colleague Steve Sass, who will speak a few words about the monastery at Mount Carmel in Morristown. Steve?
The Carmel Monastery was started in 1926 by Bishop John O'Connor at the celebration of sort of the 25th year of his ordination. The land, we have about 10 acres there, and the house was donated by a local family. And Reverend Mother Mary Magdalene from Wheeling, Virginia came up with 4 sisters. The chapel, as it is today, was completed and consecrated on May 17, 1941. And at that time, the Monsignor Fulton J. Sheen was at the ceremony. And after 76 years, we now have 20, Jim. Not 18, but 20. And we have a max of 21. We have 9 professed nuns, we have 9 novices, and 2 aspirants. And in 2015, we started a new community in the island of Malta. So here we have Mother Therese as the prioress, and we have about half of the sisters. Would you like to sing a little song quickly, maybe 30 seconds worth?
Yes, Stephen. First, I would like to say that this song will be our prayer for all of you gathered there, and all of you who are our friends, our benefactors who support us. We pray for both you and all those you love.
Very much, sisters. We have about 350 people here. Excellent. Very good. Thank you very, very much. Mother, any other comments?
No, just a great thank you for your support. Please be assured of our prayers, and thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
God bless you, they said.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Basket of wine and nuts and the appetizer items. The highest bidder was Joey Newcliffe or Newcliffe. Table number 10. Congratulations, Joey. Okay. You get the basket. Right here. Okay, next one. The Leandro Nativity set. That looks like Dennis Led in table number 5 for $170. Dennis Led. Denise Winogel for the training gift certificate, 30-day trials membership, $25. That went to Denise Winogel on table 18. Okay, next item is the YMCA 3-month membership. Candy Ajenski, table number 24. Annie Alexander, table 19, $110. That's for the St. Therese doll. When it goes to Brian Demerle, Table number 13, $100. The book by Father Pius, $100. Brian Beryl at table 13, the baby girl handmade quilt, the quilt for $100. Baby girl handmade quilt, Brian Beryl, also table 13, $100. Sunrise, the sunrise, I guess that's a painting. That goes to Bob Caballero, table number 4, $120. Sunrise, Bob Caballero, table 4, $120. Villa View of the returning boats goes to Ed Newlands, table number 10, $300. Ed Newlands, table 10. This one's for the Field of Scarlet and Bench Goers. And Steve Sass wins that one, table 19, $75. Congratulations, Steve. This one's for the Autumn by the Waterfalls. Bob Caballero again, table 4, $175. Bob Caballero, you won twice. Table 4. When you get the Autumn by the Waterfalls. Okay, Virgin and Child with St. Anne from 1500 until 1513 by Leonardo da Vinci. Looks like Garrity. Table 24, $130. This painting is Venice in metal. That looks like Annalise Rush. Table 10, $100. This one I know. Lisa Ortiz. Table 28. Another St. Therese doll. $125. Goes to Lisa. Making the other room. Okay, congratulations to everybody.